Sweet.
What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another Way Brothers video. I'm Nate.
And I'm Cody, and today we are reviewing Tapestry.
This is a full-on review. We haven't done many of these yet. We've done two. We've done Legends of Andor.
Yep.
Whoop, right there.
Yep.
And what else have we done? Heir of Kingdoms.
Yes.
Right there. So
Go
if you want to
watch
watch
that.
those, go check those out. See if you should get those. Watch those videos.
Don't get that one.
Spoilers. And today, we're talking about Tapestry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yet another Stonemaier game.
Yet another. Actually, this is one of their most recent. This is a Stonemaier game.
Okay.
I believe this is 2019. So this is this one and Wingspan both came out in 2019. They did two.
Wingspan is... Yes. I thought it was 2018. But maybe I'm just saying that to be...
Either way, they're both very recent.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
What are the pros, Cody? Let's talk about the pros for this game.
I'm so glad you asked that, Nate. We're just going to start off. It's cliche, but this game is very fun. It's very enjoyable. It's a very unique experience. I haven't really played a game like Tapestry before.
No.
I wouldn't really call it a tableau building game.
No. Well, but in some ways, yes.
In some ways, yes.
It does have a little tableau building.
It's kind of a fine
kingdom building aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
I would mostly call it an action selection game, I guess.
Okay.
Because there's 4 different paths you can choose from.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess that's the nearest thing I would call it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's so weird because it's implemented in such a way that never seen before in a game.
There's if you haven't played the game, there's essentially 4 action tracks around the board that all have different focuses, and they require a different resource to advance along that track. And depending on how you want to play the game, you can focus on one of those tracks. You can try to go equal amounts on all of them. Mm-hmm. It's very weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Weird.
it's weird, but in a great, awesome, fun way.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
It works. It definitely works.
So we're going to put that bullet point as, boom, under fun, unique gameplay.
Which we will also come back to in the cons section.
That's right.
What else is,
good about this
game?
Thing.
What else is good?
Additionally, it has diverse gameplay. Kind of playing off the unique gameplay. You can play as different civilizations for each game that give you different bonuses. And in some games... Having certain abilities like that doesn't particularly impact how you play the game. It's just kind of a little boon. But in this game, it really changes your gameplay. Your strategy is primarily going to be pulled off it's your civilization, right?
Yes.
Essentially is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're going to play as like the merrymakers, that's what they're called, right?
Yeah.
The hippies in the hula skirts and whatnot. Or if you're going to be there's the militant one. Yeah.
Yeah, militant.
Those guys.
There's a lot of them. Well, I don't remember how many.
There's at least
like 15 or more. Yeah. There's a lot, and they're all very different, and they all work. Mm-hmm. So some of them more than others, but they're all unique and they're all cool, and they really do kind of shape how you play the game, which is kind of cool. It makes it a little more unique.
Yeah. And on top of that, kind of a final component is we might even get into this in the cons, but the game has a variable endpoint per player. Mm-hmm. So it does not end at the same time. Well, again, we'll talk about it in the cons because some people don't like that, but it's kind of a refreshing difference to a degree. Yeah. Because it really changes your strategy when you're not focused on trying to end at exactly the same time as other people, and so you're calculating points. It's really hard to tell who's going to win at the end of this game. Unless you really balanced your gameplay, you've got a lot of victory points in the works, you know you're going to end strong. Having that variable game end, where each person ends at their own pace, is really unique. And I personally really like that part.
Yeah, yeah.
And boom, component quality is kind of the final point we'll throw at Tapestry. This has incredible production value.
What a shocker.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. This is like a 3D printed and very possibly hand painted, maybe.
I find it highly unlikely that they're hand painted.
Every single
just because the amount of copies that's sold, I highly doubt.
Yeah.
But still pre-painted.
Maybe you can 3D paint things automatically, but the one downside of these is, well, we'll get to that.
We'll get to the
redact that. Yeah. But they're really cool. It's a nice plastic material, and the game is just so cool to look at with like the game art on top of all this with all the cards. There's a fun little reference to Scythe in one of the cards if you've seen that.
Everything looks good and everything feels good. Like all of the player mats have this interesting texture to them that just
so
feels like high quality. Yeah. That's the only way to describe it. Yeah. It's just this texture that you just feel this and you're like,
yep,
we're at a different level.
Yeah.
We're at a different level. Because it just is. It just is. You know? And most of Stonemeier's stuff is, if you're familiar with any of their other games.
Oh, yeah.
So
for production value, this definitely gets a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this game has a lot going for it, but it has some things, and there aren't even really very many cons to this that are definite universal cons.
As opposed to controversial, perhaps.
Yes.
We kept hinting at it in a lot of the pros for the game.
So we'll start with the game end, because that and actually the civilizations are two of the biggest ones. So the game end, a lot of people don't like that it ends at different times for different players. Depending on how you play your game, you may end first, you may end dead last. And what people don't like about this is that, especially in a 5-player game, which is the amount of players, the max amount of players you can play with, the first player could end and the last player may not end until up to 20 or even 30 minutes, maybe even more if it's... I mean, I've played quite a few 5-player games. I've never seen more than the 30-minute gap, and even 30 minutes is high for the games we play. I could see if you were playing with a really inexperienced person and a really experienced person, the inexperienced person was probably end a lot sooner than the really experienced person, and you could get a pretty kind of annoying gap. So I can definitely see the argument there, but I also like that it's so unique.
Yeah.
You don't see that very much in games, and off the top of my head, I can't think of any others that do that. I'm sure there are some, but it's just a cool idea, and it's also kind of a way like you feel bad if you go out early. You're like, oh no. But it's still fun to watch the game. Like, okay, this is my final score, and it's not changing. He's still 70 points behind me. Is he going to catch me?
Yep.
You know?
Which can be nerve-wracking.
You're still interested in watching what other people are doing. Also, the civilizations are kind of a con for a lot of people because people think that a lot of these civilizations put them into a box. And so if you get the militants, it's like, all right, well, fine. Now I have to do explorer and the military tracks. I have to, because that's what my thing is. And that's kind of true. But at the same time, that's not a bad thing. You're like, okay, I get to try out this strategy this time. And I'm going to focus on these two, and I'm going to have fun with it, you know? And there's always the variable that you should play whenever you have variable player powers, which is you should be dealt a few of them. And then you look at them and get to pick which one you want to take of those few. So it's not like, oh, I got dealt militants and I have to play militants and
that's true.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, but I can understand why some people might not like that. And not all the civilizations are like that. Some of them they're very vague, and you can just kind of do whatever you want, make up your own strategy, and this is going to work with that no matter what. And then other ones are a little more restrictive. So I can see both sides on that.
Take what you will.
Also, there's the matter of price, which is what we were talking about with component quality, of course.
Yes.
Very high quality. It's also over $60 for the game.
60 to 65. Yeah. It just depends.
Which is, I would argue, a little high. Not too high. I would say this is more of a $50 game, just for what you're getting. But at the same time, paying an extra $10 to get really high quality material is not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah. It's just about what you want in a game.
If you're working down the road on your board game collection and you're willing to start investing in some nice, long-term, nice games, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not sure if you would like this game, I wouldn't say just go out and buy it because it is $60.
Watch a few videos.
Watch some videos. Maybe go to if there's a place where you can play board games, or if you know somebody who has it, go give it a couple shots.
Give us a call. We'll play with you.
And give it more than one try, because the first time you play it, it's another con is that kind of con, kind of pro is that this game is so open-ended.
Overwhelming.
It just throws you in and says, all right, do whatever you want. I have 4 choices and I have no idea what's good and what's bad. It's kind of like doing a worker placement game. The first time you play a worker placement game, you're screwed, because it's like, I have no idea what the strategy is, and if you're not doing your strategy the whole time, you're gonna it's gonna be that first half of the game is gonna hurt you a lot if you don't know what you're doing. And this is the same way.
And playing off of that, you can't really repeat any actions. You can move along an action tracker, but every single action is different, which means the first time you're playing, you're just sitting here looking at this big reference sheet the whole time, trying to figure out what it's.
There's multiple
really
reference sheets in this for the different things of the game. Yeah. It really is. Like, you pull it out of the box, the rulebook is super short. It's just one open and close. Yes. But then there's 3 reference sheets for all the things in the game. It feels really overwhelming. But that's a good thing, because the more you play it, the better. Once you understand the game, that being overwhelming all of a sudden translates into a lot of strategy.
Yep.
And because there's so many choices you can make, now all of a sudden, now that I understand the game, now it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a con. I would say it's actually more of a pro, but some people see it as a con.
Is it worth it Yes, that is the answer.
I would argue yes, but give it a shot before you buy it because it is a little spin.
Yes.
So, all right, guys, thanks for watching another Way Brothers video. Way, of course, standing for
whiskey and eggnog.
Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We've got a few other reviews, lots of shit I buys, lots of other videos, soundtracks. So check them all out. Thanks for watching.
Worcestershire and eggnog.
Worcestershire and eggnog.
Worcestershire.
Not Worcestershire.
Worcestershire. I thought it was Worcestershire.
I think it's Worcestershire.
That's how Shrek says it.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire and eggnog. Look it up.
Worcestershire.
I have a feeling no one's going to know what you're saying anyways.
I can just say whiskey.
Whiskey, that's fine.